8 years. 8 years of hurt, humiliation, and haunting memories. One semifinal. One extra-time collapse. One moment that England simply cannot erase. Mario Mandzukic in the 109th minute, and the dream died in Moscow. Tonight, in the Texas heat of AT&T Stadium, Dallas, England get their chance at revenge. But here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Croatia don't care about England's feelings. They never have. While the rest of the world wrote them off, Luka Modrić and his Warriors walked into the deepest stages of not one, but 2 consecutive World Cups. 2nd place, 3rd place. These men know how to win when it matters. So before you sit back and assume this is a routine England win, ask yourself one question. What if history is about to repeat itself again? Still here? Good, because this one is going to get heated. Welcome to Soccer Queen USA, where we don't do narratives, we do truth. And the truth about this match is far more complicated than the headlines are telling you. Right, let's set the scene properly. It's Group L, AT&T Stadium, Dallas, Texas, Wednesday, 3 p.m. local time, 2000 GMT. England versus Croatia, World Cup 2026, opening game. And the stakes could not be higher for either side. England haven't been world champions in 60 years. 60 years! 3 generations of supporters have waited, and this particular squad under Thomas Tuchel, might genuinely be the best chance they've had since 1966. Kane, Bellingham, Saka, Rice, the talent is undeniable. But England's preparations? Chaotic. Just hours after arriving at their base camp in Kansas City, the team had to shelter indoors because of a tornado warning. Then their equipment was stolen. Police arrested 2 men from San Antonio in connection with the crime. You honestly cannot make this stuff up. Only England. And Croatia? This isn't the team of 2018 or 2022. They found life without some of their then-regulars difficult, and that was painfully exposed at Euro 2024, when they were knocked out in the group stages without a single win. Their worst big tournament performance since 2006. So they arrive in Dallas with something to prove. Wounded pride is dangerous in tournament soccer. Croatia arrive in Arlington with all options available, including the evergreen Luka Modrić and Ivan Perisic, who combined for 26 goals and assists for PSV Eindhoven last season alone. This is not a mismatch. This is a chess match. Today I'm going to cover 3 things. 1. Why England's tactical setup under Tuchel is both their greatest weapon and their biggest risk. 2. Why Modrić at 40 years old is still Croatia's most dangerous man, and England genuinely have no answer for him. And 3. The one factor that every pundit is completely ignoring that could decide this entire game. Let's go. Point 1. Tuchel's system, genius or gamble? Let's start with England. And let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Thomas Tuchel inherited a squad drowning in talent and starving for identity. And credit where it's due, he has given them structure. England won all 8 of their World Cup qualifiers without conceding a single goal. Not one. That defensive solidity is real. That discipline is real. But here's what most people are glossing over. England's qualifying group was not exactly the Champions League of death. When Tuchel's men faced real opposition in those pre-tournament friendlies, they were uninspiring in a 1-0 win against New Zealand. And they've lost friendlies to Senegal and Japan in the past year. Senegal and Japan. So yes, the system works, but it works against weak opposition. Croatia are not weak opposition. Tuchel is expected to line up in a 4-2-3-1. Pickford in goal. Reece James at right back. a central defensive partnership likely featuring Stones and Konsa. Nico O'Reilly on the left. Then the double pivot, Declan Rice and Zach Anderson shielding the back four. Bellingham as the 10, Gordon and Madueke wide, because Saka is managing a minor fitness issue and may not be risked from the start. And Harry Kane alone up top. Now, on paper, that looks devastating. In practice, there's a flaw. The double pivot of Rice and Anderson is built to protect, to screen, to recycle. But Bellingham needs freedom to operate in those half spaces between Croatia's lines. And here's the tension. If Rice and Anderson sit too deep to protect against Modrić, they leave Bellingham isolated. If they push higher to support Bellingham, they leave the backline exposed to Croatia's counter. Tuchel has to solve that riddle in real time, against a team that has been solving tactical riddles for a decade. And here is where I'm going to challenge the mainstream opinion. Everyone is talking about Kane as England's key man. And yes, Kane scored 61 goals in 51 appearances for Bayern Munich last season. Croatia's own coach Dalic said publicly, they have the best striker in the world. But Kane doesn't win England this game. Bellingham does. Or he loses it. Jude Bellingham operating in those half spaces is England's most dangerous recurring situation in Tuchel's system. When he gets time to turn and drive, Croatia have no answer. But when he's marked tight and Rice is passive behind him, England have no creativity, no plan B. Bellingham is the entire midfield structure of this England team disguised as one man. And that is both beautiful and terrifying. Point 2. Modrić at 40. Don't you dare write him off. Let me be very direct here. I am tired, exhausted, of pundits treating Luka Modrić like a museum exhibit. Oh, it's lovely that he's here. What a career. Sentimental farewell tour. No, stop it. The man is dangerous. Croatia's plan is exactly what it has been at 3 consecutive major tournaments. Stay compact, win the second ball. Use Modric's creativity to unlock opponents when they least expect it. Simple, effective, devastating. And here's the tactical reality that England must face tonight. Modrić finding space between Rice and Anderson is Croatia's clearest route to controlling this entire game. Even at 40, he dictates tempo. He changes the pace of play. He creates chances from nothing. One pass from Modrić can split any defense in the world, and England's double pivot, disciplined as they are, will be tempted to chase him. The moment they do, gaps open. Kramaric runs. Perisic attacks the channel, and suddenly England are chasing shadows. Look at the evidence. In 2018, Modrić completely dominated England's midfield in that semifinal. England had no answer then. What has fundamentally changed? Rice is better than what England had in 2018, absolutely. But Modric's soccer intelligence is not something you solve with athleticism alone. You solve it with discipline. And England, under pressure, in a tournament opener, in Texas heat, discipline is exactly what tends to crack first. Compare it to how Spain handled aging playmakers in recent tournaments. They pressed high and denied them time on the ball early. Tuchel needs to make that same call. Hunt Modrić, press him early, make him feel the game. Because if you let him settle, if you let him breathe, this Croatia team becomes a completely different animal. And the scary thing? Croatia know that too. Point 3. The factor nobody is talking about. Tournament mentality. Right, this is the one. This is the point that every major pundit is skating right past, and it might be the most important factor in this entire match. Tournament mentality. Not talent, not tactics, not formation. Mentality. See, people keep comparing squads. They keep pulling up stats and expected goals models and Opta supercomputer predictions. and England come out on top every single time on paper. Favorites at -145 on the money line. Clear favorites to win Group L. Clear favorites to go deep in this tournament. And maybe that's all correct, but here's what the supercomputer cannot measure. What happens inside a player's chest when the pressure arrives in the 89th minute of a World Cup knockout situation? Croatia have been there multiple times. They know that feeling. They've lived in that feeling. England? They've collapsed in it. Repeatedly. Penalty shootouts, extra-time heartbreaks, leads surrendered, nerves swallowing entire squads whole. And yes, this is a new generation. This is Bellingham and Kane and Saka, not the broken generation of Rooney and Lampard. But has this specific group actually been tested yet? Has Tuchel's England faced a genuine elite team under World Cup pressure and delivered? The answer is no, not yet. And Croatia? Croatia crashed out of Euro 2024 without a single win. Humiliated, embarrassed, written off completely. And that is exactly the kind of wound that fuels the most dangerous version of a Zlatko Dalic team. Wounded pride, point to prove, nothing to lose. In tournament soccer, that combination is a lit match next to a fuel tank. Look at the squad depth Croatia bring. Joško Gvardiol, still the most expensive defender ever purchased, marshalling that back three. Mateo Kovacic providing composure and cover in midfield. Young Luka Vuskovic, the Tottenham starlet who turned down a £30 million bid from Brighton, sitting deep and reading the game beyond his years. Martin Baturina bringing sharp creative energy from Como. And Petar Musa, who has scored 12 goals in just 13 MLS games in 2026, potentially starting as the number 9 in front of a home crowd that will absolutely adore a Dallas striker playing at AT&T Stadium. This Croatia team is not finished, not even close. The hot take, and I mean it. All right, you want my verdict? Here it is. Bold, specific, no fence-sitting. England will win this game. But Luka Modrić will be the best player on the pitch, and it won't even be close. Here's exactly what I think happens. England's quality in the final third is simply too much for Croatia to contain for 90 minutes. Kane gets one. It might be a header from a set piece. Dalic himself admitted set pieces will be quite difficult to handle. Bellingham gets a moment. England's pressing structure eventually wears Croatia down physically in the second half. England win, probably 2-1, maybe 2-0. But Modrić? Modrić runs this midfield for large portions of this match. Rice chases him. Anderson loses him. He dictates the tempo in the first half, creates Croatia's best moments, and reminds every single person in that stadium, and watching around the world, exactly why he is one of the greatest midfielders in soccer history. And when the final whistle blows and England celebrate, the camera will find Modrić. Exhausted, dignified, possibly playing his last ever World Cup match. And every neutral watching will feel something. The mainstream take is, comfortable England win, Croatia are past it. I'm telling you, this is a 90-minute battle that England scrape. Not cruise, scrape. And if Kane has one of his quiet games, if Bellingham can't find those half spaces, if Modrić dictates the first 45 minutes and Croatia nick a goal on the counter, then we're having a very different conversation tomorrow morning. Stay with me, because in the conclusion, I'm going to give you my final verdict, my 3 key takeaways, and the one debate question that I genuinely want your answer on. The summary, the verdict, the debate. Right, let's bring it home. 3 points, 3 punchy sentences. Pay attention. 1. Tuchel's 4-2-3-1 is structurally sound but tactically fragile because the entire creative burden of this England team runs through one man, Jude Bellingham. And if Croatia neutralize him, England have no alternative route to goal. 2. Luka Modrić at 40 years old is not a sentimental story. He is a genuine tactical nightmare for England's double pivot, and any team that gives him time and space in central areas will be punished severely. 3. Tournament mentality is the invisible factor that every stat model ignores, and a wounded, embarrassed Croatia side arriving in Dallas with nothing to lose and everything to prove is the most dangerous version of this team that England could possibly face in a World Cup opener. That is the reality of tonight. Now, my final verdict, and I'm going even bolder than before. England win 2-1. Kane scores, Bellingham assists, but Croatia make this ugly. They make England suffer. They expose the fragility in that double pivot at least twice. Modrić pulls the strings for 60 minutes before his legs finally tire in the Texas heat. And England fans watching at home will not be singing "It's Coming Home" at full time. They'll be breathing a sigh of relief and quietly hoping the next two group games are kinder. This is not a statement win for England. This is a survival win. And the rest of the tournament, Portugal waiting in Group L, potential heavyweights lurking in the knockout rounds, will demand far more than what England show tonight. Tuchel has the tools. He absolutely has the tools. But tools without tournament-hardened belief are just potential. And potential has broken English hearts more times than any of us want to remember. Croatia will not roll over. They never do. And if you're sleeping on Modric's final World Cup, if you're dismissing this Croatia side because of Euro 2024, then you haven't been paying attention for the last decade of international soccer. Now, here's the debate I want settled in the comments right now, and I want specific answers, not vague opinions. Who starts and delivers more impact tonight? Jude Bellingham in the number 10 role, or Luka Modrić pulling the strings for Croatia? One player, one answer. Tell me why. Let's settle this. Drop it below. I read every single comment on this channel, and the best argument gets pinned. And listen, if you've made it this far, you already know this channel doesn't do half measures. We go deep, we go honest, we take sides. If that's the kind of soccer analysis you want before every big match at this World Cup, then hit subscribe. Not because I'm asking you to, because you know you're coming back for the next one anyway. England versus Croatia, Dallas, tonight. Don't miss it.